I'm surprised I allowed myself to do this.
Yeah, we are too, but thank you.
You're welcome. Let's do this. I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Just state your name for the camera. Tell us who you are.
I am the Reverend Rock and Roll and founder, pastor, spiritual advisor of the Church of Elvis and even more Latter-day Saints.
And would you say you're an audiophile?
Well, I'm assuming that's why y'all are here. I think it's more accurate to say that I'm the audiophile's audiophile.
There's controversy around some of your techniques. What do you say to that?
Well, I'm assuming that the people who are saying this have some sort of jealousy, or probably are not educated, what I would say, in advanced mathematics, particularly ancient mathematics. And I think your crew in this film will show that this is science. And some people call it a hobby. And if it's a hobby, get out of the game. It's a way of life. If it ain't a way of life for you, don't come at me. Wow, that's loud. A lot of people ask me, are you born an audiophile or do you become one? Can anyone be one? My answer to that is always, anyone can be an audiophile. But are you willing to put the work in? To hone your ears, to hone your skills. That's why I come to places like this. I come out to nature to hone my ears. Golly, there's a spirit about this place. Let's find a place to get settled, put the work in. A lot of audiophiles talk about instrument separation, holographic sound, making your speakers disappear. And you need to do room treatments, or you need to toe in your speakers, or do this, that, and the other. The way to make your speakers disappear, it's with you. It's within you. Okay? And an exercise I do is I come out to nature and I hook up a single channel to the speaker. Okay? A lot of people think nature's stereo. It's not. It's mono. Okay? So let's get this going. I'll show you what I do here. Get a channel going here. Channel going here. Okay, and since it's mono, we only use one nature hookup, okay? Now, if we were going stereo with nature, yeah, you would use two, and you would have to match them like you do with tubes, but we're going mono. Okay, so your A channel here, you don't want them touching. Give it a tap. All right, that sounds good to me. Okay, we have our single speaker hooked up to nature. I hope that's not too loud. We don't have volume control. You're getting from the speaker what nature gives you, okay? Now, you are an amplifier yourself. And in order to make your speakers disappear, just think about your outer ear being a phono preamp, okay? And then your inner ears being your traditional preamp out to the power amplifier. Your brain's the power amplifier. Now you have a left hemisphere and a right hemisphere. Mono blocks. Okay, that's what we are. We're mono blocks. All right? And your mouth is the speaker. That's what nature is. Okay? Now, everything's coming from the speaker, yet nothing's coming from the speaker. Therefore, the speaker is there and not there at the same time. Sit back and listen. If you notice in nature, a lot of animals have big ears, okay? And they're not using those ears to listen to Steely Dan. Although I bet they wish they were. They don't have that luxury. They're using those ears for survival. So getting my cues for being an audiophile from nature, I do one simple trick is I make my ears bigger, okay? What you can do this at home, all right? I'll have the proportions posted. But you can take 2 cardboard, pan right there, and you're bringing the sound in, just like some rodent, just like some cat, and you're bringing the sound into you. And this will train your ears to be more sensitive, so when they're off, your ears are still big, your mind still thinks this is on, okay? It still thinks you're that rodent trying to survive, all right? But just do that. All right, make sure you get the A and B lined up. Left hemisphere is A, right hemisphere B. You're good to go. Oh yeah. I'm hearing a couple zip codes away easily. Someone just opened their car door. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, you can. Some squirrel just went home. Oh yeah, picking up everything nature has. We got a mouse that just sneezed over here on the right channel. Yeah. You should really try this at home. Give this a shot. And then soon when you release them, just slowly, you won't even know they're gone, and you won't even know if they're there. Back right at it. In and out. Let's go ahead and go to the lab, which has never been filmed before. And if you can follow me, we'll go ahead and get settled in here. I want to welcome you to my lab. You're getting a rare first-time look, behind-the-scenes look at my lab. This has never been seen before by the general public. Now, this is where we do our cutting-edge research. You know, at the Church of Elvis and even more Latter-day Saints, we're not just a religion. We're a lab. We're a research institution. And a lot of this information that we start, we trickle in, we come up with ideas, and some of this research eventually gets out to the general public.
From your kitchen.
This is a lab. So,
Like a lab in a kitchen?
can you turn off that camera for a minute? Please? This documentary is about me. Are you going to be questioning everything I'm doing? I'm describing the things that are going on.
Just driving the conversation.
Okay, again,
Clarifying for the viewer.
when I call something a lab, it's a lab. When Steve Jobs would go to the bathroom and he would come up with his greatest idea, that bathroom was no longer a bathroom. Yeah, you'll have a movement in there, but he came up with the iPad in the bathroom, okay? So it's no longer a bathroom. So this is my lab, okay?
A lab at a bathroom. At a kitchen.
It's a lab. Can we go on now?
Okay.
Another thing here we're doing at the lab is experimenting with nutrition. And if there's one thing that I notice audiophiles do, even the best of audiophiles, is they forget their nutrition. Much like a perfect athlete, a professional athlete, has to practice over and over, they have to practice good nutrition for their peak performance. And even when you do, sometimes it requires supplements. And audiophiles require supplements even when they're watching their nutrition. So let me show you a few things we're experimenting with. Now here with mids, we're using calcium. Could you please come back here? That's not ready. That's not ready yet. Now, with mids, we're using calcium. Okay? Now calcium strengthens those ear canals, okay? So when that sound's coming in and vibrating those ear canals, that calcium keeps it strong. And here's another one that we use for treble. This is an unusual one because this is specifically formulated for a woman called Ritual. Now, the reason I use this is because women have higher voices and also women hear everything. Now, for bass, I use lion's mane. Lion's mane is very important for bass. But now I use ethically sourced lion's mane. Now, I'm a little ashamed to say this, but I wasn't always using ethically sourced lion's mane. And when I learned about the industry and what was going on with the lions, I had to switch to ethically. Now, it will cost you a little bit more, but it'd be worth it. And you get those ethically sourced, free-ranging lions will get you the best performance for your bass. Now, a lot of you might remember the 90s. And Sony invented the groundbreaking bass boost. I use Alive for bass boost. Think of it as a subwoofer for your ears. Now, personally, I'm not a bass head myself, but you wouldn't believe what Alive will do for your bass. A lot of audiophiles worry about their electricity, their current to their system. And they unplug their microwave, unplug the refrigerator, unplug their Mr. Coffee. But is that enough? Now, I understand why you're doing that. You're trying to get the purest current to your system. And some even use power conditioners. But there are next levels that audiophiles like myself take it. Now, I've never told anyone about this, but we're going to take a trip to show you to the extremes I go to make sure my system, my Steely Dan, my Jethro Tull, sounds pure as possible. Behind me is the most important component in your stereo system. This is a power substation. It's crucial that audiophiles pick the most appropriate substation for their neighborhood they're going to move in. Now, it's important that you evaluate it. Make sure there's no loose debris or trash, okay? And if you do see loose debris or trash, or you see something that concerns you about your substation, make sure you call the authorities or call your power company and make sure they come out and they clean it up so your system sounds great. You wouldn't believe how important a substation is to your stereo system. There's this one time I was crushing some Jethro Tull and my system didn't sound right. I checked the interconnects, I checked the speakers, checked the amplifier, and I couldn't figure it out. My power conditioner was going, my microwave was unplugged, my refrigerator was unplugged, my Mr. Coffee was unplugged. So I thought, I'm gonna get down in the car and go see the substation. And sure enough, what I saw was appalling. I saw an empty Cool Ranch Doritos bag lodged in one of the breakers. So, of course, I got in the car, I called my local power company. They know I'm an audiophile, they know who I am. They came down, they got that bag out, and I went back to my system and it sounded absolutely amazing. So again, it's really important that you look into these things. One of the things I like to do, it's usually about a 4 to 6 mile radius, is when you find out someone's new to the neighborhood, you go to their house, you let them know you're audiophiles, you give them a pamphlet that has all the resources and needs that you to be able to have good current to your house. And that way, your stereo system will be peak performance when you have the cooperation of your neighbors. Hi, we understand you're new to the neighborhood. I'm the Reverend Rock and Roll and the founder, pastor, spiritual advisor of the Church of Elvis. and even more Latter-day Saints, we're audiophiles. So since you're new to the neighborhood, it's important that you know that during our listening hours, we need our electrical current to be pure as possible. If you could think about please unplugging your microwave, your refrigerator, your phone charger, any electrical devices during those hours would help us. And also feel free to make an appointment at the Church of Elvis and even more Latter-day Saints. We really agree. Good seeing you. Welcome to the neighborhood. We're going to come by again. Okay.
Do you want to tell us where we are?
Right now, we are in a custom deprivation chamber built for the Church of Elvis and even more Latter-day Saints to my exact acoustic specifications.
It appears to be a closet.
We had that talk. We had that talk that we're gonna call things the way I call them. Okay? All right. Thank you. This is a deprivation chamber. And what we use this for is, say that we got a new pressing, like a new Ice Castles UHQR pressing from Chatty Cakes at Acoustic Sounds. What we would do is, before we listen to that new pressing, we will go into the deprivation chamber for 4 to 5 hours a day, up to 2 to 3 weeks before we listen to that new pressing. So our senses can totally take in and judge it and enjoy it.
With all due respect, I'm a little uncomfortable.
What, the 2 to 3 weeks part?
Yeah, can I step out of the closet?
Yes.